They stood on stages where the name of Christ was shouted like a battle cry. Crowds believed them. Churches were starting to accept them. Fans built their faith playlists around them. But what happens when the ones who preached belief decide belief was a lie? What happens when bands decide they'll never again play
the gospel louder than hell?
Christian metal was never just music. It was identity, a declaration of belief in our Lord Jesus Christ in language set to 10 and overdrive. These bands didn't merely play faith, they embodied it. Lyrics about redemption, sacrifice, about standing against darkness. And then, like a mirror hit by a cast stone, something shattered. Not quietly, not privately, but so fiercely to the point of attacking the same system of beliefs they held their whole life. The first crack usually sounds harmless, a sign of doubt, exhaustion. We don't want labels anymore. But labels aren't the issue. Faith is. Hawk Nelson, a band that built its entire career on devotional language. Songs that sounded like prayers shouted over guitars. They became staples in youth groups, festivals, Christian radio. Then came the letter. Calm, polite, devastating. John Steingard explained that he no longer believed any of it. God, Jesus, faith itself, gone, apostated. He said belief stopped making sense once he examined it honestly. How does a man comes from writing lyrics like this? How much you mean to me? Look at my hands. Look at my side. If you could count the times I say you are forgiven, it's more than the drops in the ocean. After growing up in a Christian home, being a pastor's kid, playing and singing in a Christian band, and having the word Christian in front of most of the things in my life, I am now finding that I no longer believe in God. Thousands of fans reread the statement twice, hoping they misunderstood. They hadn't. Underoath. Another band was heavier, louder, more aggressive. Their early music sounded like public confession. Sin, guilt, redemption screamed over mastodontic riffs. But years passed, success arrived, and belief became, in their own words, toxic. Interviews changed. Faith was described as damaging, restrictive. Spencer Chamberlain was the most vocal about their apostasy, saying negative experiences, feeling judged and unsupported by some Christian communities, leading to feelings of isolation. Revolver magazine, March 2018. Spencer was alone, hurt by religiousness, and did what men often do. He took it out on God. And there was absolutely no one to tell him that the church is about God, not men. That Jesus never promised us an easy life, he promised peace in him. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. And I heard a voice through the discord of a deluge of passers-by. And I saw one gaze frozen in time watching me passing by. And I swear I'll know your face in the crowd, and I'll hear your voice so loud when you're whispering, let's get this straight. I'm fine without you. I'm not your prey. So save yourself and no one else. This man was hopeless, hurt by men. The next was just a liar, as I lay dying. They were marketed as a Christian metal band, trusted by churches, festivals, and Christian fans. Their lyrics sounded like conviction, not branding. For many listeners, it was spiritual identity. Then the public story broke, and everything changed. Not a rumor, a criminal case. In 2013, Tim Lambesis was arrested in a murder-for-hire plot targeting his estranged wife. He later pleaded guilty to solicitation of murder and was sentenced to prison. After prison, the interviews weren't about struggles anymore. They were about what had been real and what hadn't. Lambesis admitted he had lost his faith and became an atheist, and said the Christian band identity had been kept for the market. He went further. He said they weren't fully Christian anymore, and that, at times, faith was essentially performed to keep selling. Forever. With that perfect breath where my mind lay beside me, And all I knew is what had overtaken me. With no reason, I am comforted by inability to understand. My own grave, buried alive inside of my own grave. And there's no one else to blame. Buried alive inside of my own grave, of belief dissolving into ambiguity. That's the part that hits like a hammer. Not, he changed, but we were sold a mask. When belief is used as a marketing passport, the collapse doesn't stay in the band. It bleeds into eternity. Now, what you're about to hear doesn't just change how you see the band. It forces you to question if any band has any real faith at all. Zao. Then there's the band that turned inward. Once openly theological, now only lukewarm. Their early work addressed sin, judgment, and redemption without hesitation. And then, one by one, they all apostated, except Martin Lund. Apostasy, constant lineup changes, all contributed to implode the band's faith. And to make matters worse, they said it was evolution. And what is stranger? Fans didn't seem to care. Christian bands have a responsibility that cannot be taken lightly. All that was said so far can be said about the next band, and more, all at once. Vengeance Rising, and now the one I warned you about. This wasn't drift. This wasn't doubt. This was detonation. Vengeance Rising was once among the most uncompromising Christian metal bands ever formed. Evangelistic, confrontational, unapologetic. Then everything collapsed. Frontman Roger Martinez didn't walk away. He turned around. Publicly declared Christianity a lie. He aligned himself with openly anti-Christian ideology and mocked the faith he once preached, to the point of waving satanic Bibles and calling the Bible a bunch of fairy tales. The Christian metal realm. Fans were shocked, disappointed. But as true Christians, some of them because of Roger's lyrics, never left him in full during his battle with cancer. All across the internet, fans prayed Martinez would find peace with God and return to his faith before he passed away. We can only hope he did. It is saddening that a man who once wrote lyrics like these, "Do not be afraid, for he is risen. All authority has been given to him. Worship him, and only him." Jesus Christ the Almighty left his faith with such spiritual violence. Roger burned the bridge and danced in the smoke. Here's the pattern no one likes to admit. When faith is public, abandoning it is also public. When belief is monetized, its collapse leaves wreckage. And when leaders fall, followers bleed. The question isn't whether these bands had the right to change. The question is what happens to the people who believed with them. Because belief doesn't disappear when the music stops. But once it cracks, it never sounds the same again. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. There is more like this on the way. Check the cool links on the description. It supports and helps grow the channel. And as usual, please consider buying our editor a cup of coffee. Link on the description. He swears to remain Christian, even if Taylor Swift starts singing gospel.